Well, we're back looking at more editions of Monopoly.
Parker Brothers kind of fun brings people together.
Delayed.
Monopoly's been bringing people together for almost 50 years. That's how long we've been wheeling and dealing together, building hotels together, and going to jail together.
Corner the market in utilities. You can't lose.
Share a smile and your day seems a whole lot better. Parker Brothers kind of fun.
Well, because, it's becoming more proper for us to do this. So, let's look at Millennium Edition, the .com Edition, the Dale Earnhardt Edition, Harley Davidson Edition, and the Golf Edition. Let's get started. Let's have some fun. Let's get some drinks. Speaking of which, so let's get started. Let's look at the first one, which is the Millennium Edition. Which came out in, well, around the new millennium, meaning 2000. The box that it came in is relatively cool in that it's silver. Some differences on the board are that the properties are separated into different color groups, such as green, blue, orange, brown, and other colors. On the board having a holographic sheen to it, which is cool. This edition is currently out of print. Well, that makes sense. But I'm sure, like, you can probably find it on eBay. Probably for a very high price. Just like a certain...
Godzilla is approaching the generator. The generator is losing power. Godzilla is approaching the generator. The generator is losing power. Godzilla is approaching the generator. The generator is losing power. Godzilla is approaching the generator! The generator is losing power!
PS4 game, meaning Godzilla PS4. The .com edition is... When I first heard that there's a .com version, I thought, like, oh, so there's one you can play online and all that. Well, no, that's not what it is. The .com version of Monopoly, which was released in 2000, instead of it was the board having icons that were common that you would have seen on your computer when searching the internet. The money that each player gets is worth $1 million.
$1 million.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit underwhelmed by this version of the game. And that I think the idea is cool, but at the same time, it's just like, the board is... Here's what I'm trying to say. The board is cool, but at the same time, it's just... I'm just thinking about it, looking at it, I'm just like... I don't know, it's just like, say, there's so much going on, it's just like, say, what the heck am I supposed to look at? Am I supposed to look at, like, say, like, oh, hey, here's the .com, like, level, no, the mouse logo, oh, wait, oh, look, there's the email logo, oh, what's going on here, kind of idea, that's just what I feel. This ADHD or something going on. I'm getting too hyper, I guess. Well, let's look at the Dale Earnhardt edition. This edition of the game was released in the year 2000. And after his tragic passing in 2001, a legacy edition of the game was released in 2003. I feel like this idea for a edition of the game is cool. I didn't really grow up with watching NASCAR.
Comes down and will take his 10th career victory at Talladega in the Winston 500.
The
crash as the table calls to start.
So I think the idea of this is cool and in a way very respective. You know, I feel like I'd have to play this with someone who's really into, like, you know, NASCAR to, you know, be able to, you know, get into it, you know, like say, okay, oh, so this is the, you know, reason why, okay. You know, it's like, sort of like how, like, if someone would get you to play a version of Monopoly that is, like, you know, a part of their city, or probably their state, or perhaps a version of their favorite property, like Game of Thrones, then eventually perhaps you would get into that. So, let's move on to the next one, which is the Harley Davidson Edition. Well, this edition of the game came out in 1997. And while I think this idea of it is cool, you know, it'd probably be interesting to get people who are interested in bikes, or perhaps history of them, instead of just properties. Perhaps locations of, like, where folks can bike at. I mean, you still have, like, on the board, you still have houses as properties, but, like, when it comes to this edition of the game, it does make me curious, like, when it comes to Monopoly, of, like, I guess, like, say, whenever you are playing, having, like, say, versions of Monopoly, there's always going to be a version, like, say, okay, like, if you get a version of it, and then you say, okay, there's always going to be someone in your friend group that's going to say, oh, I'm going to be interested in that, kind of like how it is, like, you know, you're going to be having someone that's going to get really into it, and I'm sure, like, that's the case with this one. Like, if you got a group of friends, they probably say, oh, well, this is new, in the fact it's not just, hey, here's Pennsylvania Avenue, grab this property. So, let's look at our final edition, which is the Golf Edition. This version came out in 2008, and what makes this one different than the other ones, like, you know, versions of the game, you can own properties like renowned Pebble Beach, number 7, Whistling Straits, number 7, and Pinehurst, number 5. That's just a sentence I just said, and I have no idea what it means. I think it's a type of, like, say, holes when it comes to, or, you know, like types of golfing locations, perhaps?
I don't like golf! I don't like golf!
I don't know, I'd say more when it comes to, like, say, some of the description for the game. It says it's just like traditional golf. You want to avoid the water, stay out of the sand, and steer clear of all the other course hazards. While this concept does make me curious, in that how do you, like, have, like, say, okay, golf. How do, like, I'm sure, like, say there are some people who are really big into golf. I mean, I've played mini golf, I like kind of like that. I have not really, like, you know, gotten myself into, like, say, yes, golf, swing that putter. That's not me. That's not like it's not like a sport that really has me interested in trying to do. But perhaps like if I was to play this with a group of friends, maybe it will be I would get into it. Cause like where I'm from, golf is a bit big in that there's quite a lot of golf, what would be the term, golf fields, and all that. We have a lot of that here on my little island, I guess, where I'm at. So yeah, maybe it would be like, say, like interested to folks who really are big into golf, or perhaps someone who is a big player of the game. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. But what are your thoughts on all these editions of Monopoly? See you next time.